The NBA playoffs begin on April 13th, so we're getting pretty darn close. What follows is everything you need to know about where things stand entering Thursday, March 28th. Teams are listed in order of current seed, with the projected finishing seed, along with the SportsLine data used to determine that finishing seed, below. The post will continue to update for the remainder of the season as we keep track of these races right down to the wire. Note, our SportsLine model, developed by predictive data engineer Stephen O., simulates the entire season 10,000 times to produce the most unbiased and precise projections imaginable. Western Conference fight for number 1. The Warriors are tied in the loss column with the Nuggets for the West's number 1 seed. Two teams still have one matchup left, but Golden State has a much easier remaining schedule otherwise. Magic number to clinch top 4 seed, 1 projected seed, no. 1 SportsLine odds, 88.6% to get number 1 seed. Current first-round matchup versus Spurs tiebreaker, currently own tiebreaker 2-1 over Denver, 1 matchup left, for a real shot at the no. 1 seed, Denver basically has to win that game against the Warriors on April 2nd. If not, the Warriors will effectively gain 2 games because that will clinch the tiebreaker for Golden State as well. With one of the toughest schedules in the league down the stretch, Denver faces Houston on Thursday night. Magic number to clinch top 4 seed, 2 projected seed, no. 2 SportsLine odds, 11.4% to get number 1 seed. Current first-round matchup versus Thunder tiebreaker, currently trail Warriors 2-1 head-to-head, 1 matchup left. Fight for no. 3 seed. The Blazers have clinched a playoff spot and are currently no. 3 in the West because they own the tiebreaker with Houston. Still, our SportsLine projections see them finishing behind Houston, largely because of the loss of Yusuf Nurkic. A top 4 seed, as you'll see below, is still looking good. Magic number to clinch top 4 seed, 5 projected seed, no. 4 SportsLine odds, 87.8% to get top 4 seed. Current first-round matchup versus Clippers tiebreaker, clinched tiebreaker over Houston, already lost tiebreaker to OKC, currently own tiebreaker over Jazz via division record, currently losing tiebreaker to Spurs via conference record. The Rockets lost their grip on the no. 3 seed, for the moment, with their loss to the Bucks on Tuesday night. That race for no. 3 is big because it would mean avoiding the Warriors, assuming they hang on to no. 1 in the second round. Though Houston is currently no. 4 SportsLine projections like them to eventually end up with the number 3 seed. Entering Thursday, they are tied in the loss column with the Blazers, but as you'll see below, the Blazers own the tiebreaker. Magic number to clinch top 4 seed, 5 projected seed, no. 3 SportsLine odds, 91.8% to get top 4 seed. Current first-round matchup versus Jazz tiebreaker, clinched tiebreaker over GS, already lost tiebreaker to both OKC and Portland. The Jazz have clinched a playoff spot. Our projections like them emerging from a crowded field for the no. 5 seed, largely because of their soft remaining schedule, but getting into the top 4 is not likely. Magic number, clinched playoffs projected seed, no. 5 SportsLine odds, 17.7% to get top 4 seed. Current first-round matchup at Rockets tiebreaker, clinched tiebreaker over Spurs and Clippers, lost tiebreaker to OKC, currently losing tiebreaker with Houston, division leader. The Clippers have clinched a playoff spot and are currently the no. 6 seed. Our projections have them staying there. Entering play on Thursday, the Clippers have a 1-game lead over number 7 OKC, and a 2-game lead over no. 8 San Antonio. Magic number, clinched playoffs projected seed, no. 6 SportsLine odds, 1.5% to get top 4 seed. Current first-round matchup at Blazers tiebreaker, already lost tiebreaker to Jazz, currently losing tiebreaker to Spurs via conference record, currently have slim tiebreaker advantage over OKC via conference record. The Thunder have lost 6 of their last 10 but got big wins over Indiana and Toronto in 2 of their last 3. For now, that has them in the number 7 seed and our projections like them to stay there. OKC needs one more win or one Sacramento loss to clinch a playoff berth. Magic number to clinch playoff spot. 1 projected seed. No. 7 SportsLine odds. 1.3% to get top 4 seed. Current first round matchup at Nuggets tiebreaker. Own tiebreaker over Houston, Portland and Utah. Already lost tiebreaker to Spurs. Currently losing tiebreaker to Clippers. The Spurs are currently no. 8 and our projections see them staying there. If Denver can supplant Golden State as the no. 1 seed, San Antonio will be happy to stay in the final spot. Good news, if they are eyeing the number 7 seed, is the Spurs own the tiebreaker over the Thunder. But there is still a ton to shake out with these bottom 3, and even 4 or 5 Western seeds. For now, San Antonio needs 2 more wins, or 2 Sacramento losses, or a combination of the 2, to clinch a playoff spot. Magic number to clinch playoff spot. 2 projected seed. No. 8 SportsLine odds. 100% to make playoffs. Current first-round matchup at Warriors tiebreaker. Clinched tiebreaker over Thunder via head-to-head. Currently own tiebreaker over Clippers via conference record. Currently own tiebreaker over Blazers via conference record. Already lost tiebreaker to Jazz. Eastern Conference top 3 seeds pretty set. The Bucks have a 4-game lead in the loss column over Toronto and they own the tiebreaker. Number 1 seed, both in the East and overall, is pretty secure at this point. Magic number to clinch number 1 seed. 3 projected seed. No. 1 SportsLine odds. 99.8% to get no. 1 seed. Current first round matchup versus Magic tiebreaker. Own tiebreaker over Raptors. The Raptors are pretty locked into the East's number 2 seed. 4 games back and no. 1 Milwaukee and 4 games ahead of no. 3 Philadelphia. The Raptors also own the tiebreaker over Philadelphia, making that lead effectively 5 games. Magic number to clinch number 2 seed. 4 projected seed. No. 2 SportsLine odds. 0.2% to get no. 1 seed. Current first round matchup versus Nets tiebreaker. Own tiebreaker over Sixers. Already lost tiebreaker to Bucks. Sixers have a 3-game lead in the loss column over no. 4 Indiana, and they also own the tiebreaker, making that lead 4 games for all intents and purposes. You can pretty much book the Sixers into the number 3 seed, over 94% according to our projections. Magic number to clinch top 4 seed. 4 projected seed. No. 3 SportsLine odds. 94.8% to get no. 3 seed. Current first round matchup versus Pistons tiebreaker. Own tiebreaker over Pacers. Already lost tiebreaker to Bucks. Raptors and Celtics fight for final home court spot. The Pacers, who have cliched a playoff spot, are just 1 game up on the Celtics for the no. 4 seed, and the teams have 2 games remaining. Boston still controls its own destiny to catch the Pacers. The first of those 2 remaining matchups is this Friday. Because of the 1-game cushion at this point, SportsLine projections like Indiana, by an appreciable margin, to hang on to the no. 4 spot. That will change with a Boston win Friday night. Magic number to clinch top 4 seed. 6 projected seed. Number 4 SportsLine odds. 84.2% to get top 4 seed. Current first round matchup versus Celtics tiebreaker. Already lost tiebreaker to Sixers. Season series with Boston tied 1-1 with 2 to play. As mentioned above, the Celtics trail the Pacers by 1 game for the no. 4 spot with 2 head-to-head matchups remaining. These 2 teams will most likely face off in the first round, with home court advantage being the only thing left to settle. As of Thursday, our projections do not like Boston's chances of catching the Pacers. Magic number to clinch playoff spot. 1 projected seed. No. 5 SportsLine odds. 16.2% to get top 4 seed. Current first round matchup at Pacers tiebreaker. Clinched tiebreaker over Sixers. Season series with Indiana tied 1-1 with 2 to play. The final 3 seeds. This is where things get dicey in the East, with 5 teams still in the hunt for the final 3 spots. Brooklyn is the leader in the clubhouse via owning the tiebreaker over the Pistons. The Nets have a brutal schedule down the stretch, thus our projections have them eventually landing at no. 7, but even that is no sure thing. Brooklyn has just a 1-game lead in the loss column over no. 9 Miami entering Thursday, magic number to clinch playoff spot, 6 projected seed, no. 7 SportsLine projection, 74.5% to make playoffs, current first-round matchup, at Sixers tiebreaker, clinched tiebreaker over Pistons and Magic, trail season series vs. Miami 2-1 with 1 to play. Pistons are currently no. 7 because the Nets own the tiebreaker. The two teams are tied in the loss column, and the Nets, as mentioned above, have an extremely tough schedule down the stretch, which is why projections favor Detroit to eventually rise back up to no. 6. The Pistons have a huge game Thursday night against current number 8 seed Orlando, which only trails Detroit by 1 in the loss column. If the Pistons can win Thursday, it would be an effective 2-game swing between them and the Magic, because it would give Detroit the season tiebreaker, magic number to clinch playoff spot, 7 projected seed, no. 6 SportsLine odds, 89.8% to make playoffs, current first-round matchup, at Raptors tiebreaker, currently losing tiebreaker to Miami via Heat being a division leader, already lost tiebreaker to Nets, currently own tiebreaker over Orlando with 1 matchup remaining. Orlando got a monster win over Miami on Tuesday to jump into the final playoff spot. That win also gave Orlando the tiebreaker over Miami via a 3-1 head-to-head advantage. That could very well be the difference in the final seed. The Magic have another huge game against current 7 seed Detroit on Thursday night, magic number to clinch playoff spot, 7 projected seed, no. 8 SportsLine odds, 73% to make playoffs, current first-round matchup, at Bucks tiebreaker, clinched tiebreaker over Miami, already lost tiebreaker to Nets, currently trail Pistons via 2-1 deficit in season series with 1 matchup remaining outside. Looking in, the good news for Miami is it owns the tiebreaker, as you'll see below, over Detroit and Brooklyn. The bad news is the Magic are the first team they're chasing, and Orlando owns that tiebreaker. This is a photo finish, and our projections have the Heat just missing out, projected seed, no. 9 SportsLine odds, 50.5% to make playoffs, tiebreaker, currently own tiebreaker over Detroit and Brooklyn, lost tiebreaker to Orlando. Hornets are streaking with 4 straight wins over Minnesota, Boston, Toronto and San Antonio, which has raised their playoff odds considerably in our projections, though they're still a long shot to make it, according to simulations. But listen, basketball isn't played in a simulator. It's played on a court with human beings, and Kemba Walker is a bad man. The bottom line is Charlotte is 1 game back in the loss column of no. 8 Orlando, and they still play the Magic one more time. They're going to have their say. Projected seed, number 10 SportsLine odds, 12.9% to make playoffs, tiebreaker, currently trail Miami via division record, currently lead Orlando 2-1 head-to-head with 1 matchup remaining, currently trail Brooklyn via conference record. We're talking percentage points separation here.